but I'll train for the toughest fight. I'll train for the Lloyd Huntington who fought Donald Curry.
Yes, impressive that night, wasn't it?
Definitely.
Impressive credentials for both of you. You've had, what, 11 successful world title fights between you. One opponent that you've got in common is Marlon Starling. You've beaten you both. You've had a win and a draw against Marlon Starling. What do you think you learned from those two fights?
Well, what I learned from those two fights were to stay relaxed more. I was too tense, and I didn't relax enough and take my time and just be more patient when I'm fighting guys like Marlon Starling. Guys who come right at you, just be more patient. And the more patient I am, the better results I get.
Well, let's take a look at you in relaxed and patient mood now. You regain the title, as we see here, against the Korean Lee Seung-soon. All over inside the first minute. Pretty ferocious performance, this. Typical Breland?
Well, when you're relaxed, those are the outcomes. And hopefully things will keep going that way. I've been working very hard, and I plan to just keep winning.
You've had problems like Lloyd with your hands over the years, I think. What's the situation there now? Are you fully fit in that area?
Well, I haven't been having any problems with my hands lately. I have to knock on something here. But I've always had problems with my hands. I always had hand problems because I punch. Most punchers have a lot of hand problems, and I'm very small to be a big puncher. But as of right now, nothing's been bothering me.
It's a great prospect. Wembley, March the 3rd. Let's just reassure ourselves that it is going to go ahead. Jarvis Astaire, promoter, deputy chairman of Wembley Stadium there, has got the contract. We want to pass it across to Mark to put his signature on.
That's the whole contract, the contract in standard form, and that requires your signature there, Mark.
So the world title fight goes ahead. $1 million fight, they're calling this, Jarvis. Possibly, what, a capacity of 13,000 inside the Wembley arena?
Yes, we have now a capacity of 13,000. We've seated the arena, and this is going to be a marvellous fight, a marvellous event, in fact, for us to launch it as the first time a boxing match will be held with our new facility.
But we look forward to it. Tough one for you coming to London, though, Mark.
No, I plan to come back here again. I've been here twice, and this is my 3rd time here. Well, I'll be back again. But I think it's going to be a great fight. I was here once filming a movie, and I came here to watch Johnny Bumper's fight Lloyd. Now it's my turn to come in and fight, and I think it'll be. I'm pretty sure it'll be a great fight.
We're certainly looking forward to it. Wembley Arena, March the 3rd. Mark, Jarvis, thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you.
Well, now, he flew in from the States early this morning. Marsh has seen little more than the 4 walls of the police station. He's been questioned for 16 hours now by detectives investigating the shooting 7 weeks ago. Frank Warren suffered serious chest and stomach injuries when a masked gunman opened fire at point-blank range as he arrived at a boxing promotion. Police moved him to a secret nursing home, suspicious that the assailant might repeat the attack. But within a fortnight, Warren had recovered.
I quite honestly say, hand on my heart, I don't know of anybody I could have upset that badly, but obviously somebody feel that. Maybe it's a crank. But obviously it is a crank.
Marsh was Warren's first signing. They were together for 6 fruitful years as Marsh fought his way to the top, becoming IBF light welterweight champion in 1987. Having successfully defended his title, he astonished everyone by saying he was quitting the ring because of epilepsy, and this after signing a £250,000 contract for another defence. It also meant that the former Marine commando had to relinquish his day job at Tilbury Fire Station. In the last 3 years, Marsh has become a promoter-manager and tried his hand at a number of jobs, including professional actor.
Until I get my little girl back, I'm going to do exactly what they say.
Tonight, he's still at Hackney Police Station and is to be detained overnight. Warren and Marsh were due to appear in the High Court sometime in the next few days. The boxing promoter is suing his former client for libel. A High Court spokesman said tonight, however, that they were expecting an appeal for it to be pursued.
With us again tonight after flying in from the States today, following his latest victory across the Atlantic. A major announcement about his future plans follows here in the studio shortly, but first of all, let's see how he coped with his opponent on Sunday, Sanderline Williams from Ohio. The grueling battle it turned out to be. Our commentator, Reg Guthridge.
So coming out then for the 2nd round, and Ben there with yet another new hairstyle, a bit like a sumo wrestler, the way he's got it smoothed down like that, and he's found out that in the opening round that Sanderline Williams is also a bit smooth, a bit clever, as we knew when he boxed Errol Graham in Belfast back in '85, and it didn't allow Graham too much scope. Well, there you are, the total punches there was in, if you take that as accurate, which I don't always, by the way. Ben just about stole the first round, but he's got a good left jab. Sandline Williams comes out of Cleveland and has done very well with staying the course with Iran Barkley and Frank Tate, both of whom went on to become world champions, and they were both good fights with close decisions. But he's not in the world ratings at the moment, Sandline Williams. He's coming up 32, and Ben, in fact, is in all three versions. But that way, he got tagged with a left hook as he walked in there, and he's trying to finish it off now, Sandline Williams. He's got to duck and dive well here, Ben. The sort of trouble that he had with Michael Watson, but he's also dangerous when he's hurt like that. He's like a wounded lion in a way, the way he'll spring back. He did it with Anthony Logan in London. There was certainly a lapse there by Ben. He got just tagged with a left hook. He's not known as the best of hardest of hitters anyway, Williams, but he certainly hits hard enough to claim attention. Midway through the second, scheduled for 10. Now, this is the ring where Lloyd Hunnigan first won his world championship at Caesars on the boardwalk at Atlantic City. And it's the third fight in the States, of course, now for Ben. And this is his learning routine there on the way to, he hopes, get a world title challenge. But it's still a way off if we judge by this one. Ben can use the left jab well when he wants to, but he tends to lunge in occasionally and get tagged. He gets a bit impatient. So this fella's never been on the deck. He's only been stopped once, and that was with a cut eye against Lyndall Holmes, who is the world's #1 challenger now in the rankings. Well, he's recovered from that bit of a shock, I thought there. They give this round to Williams anyway now, the judges. All local, New Jersey. And he's trying to make up for it a bit here, Ben. Referee Randy Newman, who handled Mike Tyson's last controversial fight. Dick Andretti there, working in the corner with Ben. And in this replay, look, that's where he tagged him there, you see. He hadn't expected the arm to come up there and tag him on the chin, and he lolled into the ropes, but he did well to get out of trouble. And we're out for round 6. Pattern has been the same. It's not an easy fight to judge. On the volume of punches, Ben would be ahead. But there you are, the American commentary team there, the ESPN team, make it level. I would say Ben is just stealing it all the time. It's a little bit of local bias, I suspect, is coming there. Then again, I'd be accused of that by making Ben ahead. But I think he's realised, Ben, now that he can't walk in and knock everybody over. What he used to call the Mexican road sweepers, they've all gone. And he's having to do it the hard way now to make his way in the top of the ratings. He's in all three, as I said, and then got tagged with that long right hand, and he's hurt again in the 6th. His arm was fully extended by then, Williams, has just as well. If he'd have caught him with a shorter punch, he might have had him over. But he's covering up well on the ropes there, Ben. At least he's trying to get out of trouble. Sticking to the jab there, obviously the corner orders lead with the left before you do anything else. Pave the way in with that. He really is a crafty old campaigner, Williams. Well, you don't go through a career that he's had without being on the deck at any time. So it wasn't maybe the smartest of matches to take for Ben, who was originally due to fight Michael Olajide, who is a top-ranked fighter, and that would obviously have been a tough fight for him. But this is an awkward and durable opponent. one of the Williams cornermen has actually called out there, "Come on, Sandy, frustrate him." I think he's doing that all right. Sticking to the left-hand jab, and he's been a bit unsuccessful with the round arm swings early on. So Ben definitely been hurt twice there, noticeably, and hasn't really noticeably hurt Williams at all. But he's in reasonable shape. He got plenty of notice once Elijah Day had pulled out of the fight. So those taps you hear, the timekeeper telling the cornermen they're coming up to the end of the round. Get ready to spring in the ring. So there is that long right hand came in there. You see, it just extended fully before it got to his chin, which is just as welcome then. Round 7. Almost at the smart money in this gambling city anyway. He said that they thought this would go the 10 rounds because that's the form with Sanderline Williams. He's already had one distance fight in America, Jorge Amparo, man. Getting his share of support there, Ben. He's got a few loud supporters out there. It's been an easy fight for referee Randy Newman. He hasn't had any problem with them. They came in at 2 pounds above the middleweight, just over 2 pounds, both of them. 162 and a half and 162 and a quarter for Ben. He really does absorb some good shots, Williams, doesn't he? Ben's catching him with some decent right-handers there. Nothing's happening. So obviously, Ben tried to prove that he can box a bit as well as plunge in the way he does, and has caused really big upsets and won rounds when nobody really expected him as quickly as that. And then the upset went against him when Michael Watson defeated him last May. So a minute to go in this round. The referee letting him get on with it inside there. He's not calling break. He'll have to eventually, I suppose. It's a bit of holding now. Sounds a bit useful at the inside game, actually. I'm surprised he hasn't tried that a bit more, but to try and belt the body to bring the hands down, but I don't think that'll make much difference because it's the strong chin that Williams campaigns so well. Round 8, and Ben getting a bit anxious here, getting up early for work, and Williams waiting till the last second as the bell goes and keeping on the stool there. So there you are now, they're trying to sort this one out. I would say Ben's ahead all right, just the sheer volume of punches. But as I said, the American commentary team think it's very close indeed and nothing in it. There it is. They made it even again. The commentary team there. It just shows you how you can view a contest differently. Certainly not. There's only a narrow margin if he's in front then. They're prepared for that, all right. But he's ahead there. As you see, he's been scoring more. But those 2 rounds where he was hurt have really gone against him in the. I don't know about the judges' eyes, but certainly in the commentary team's eyes. Yes. Got a good reach, Williams. Ben feels those left hands jabbing into him every so often like that and that. Not too accurate there with his punches, then he missed with quite a few on the turn. A little anxious, his boxing. I suppose he's so disappointed he hasn't been able to nail Williams. That's a bit better. The shorter punches are more accurate. He's a little lazy, Sadline Williams. That's why I don't think he could be ahead. He doesn't do enough. He does it all in spasms. But it's a big enough test here for Ben, for a fellow who's not in the top 10. In fact, if you look on a record, you'd say, well, what's he doing in the ring with Ben, really? Because he's lost 5 of his last 7. Sadline, but I emphasise they've all been against top opposition. An unusual experience, Williams, of boxing for the USBA championship, and it was level, so they made them box an extra round and went into the 13th, of which he lost. We're coming up then to the end of this round. Look at that replay again now, really close up camera there catching this. He well missed. He nearly put the lights out with that one, Ben. Round 9, and it does look set now, doesn't it, to go the 10-round course as the fight traders predicted. And if the judges happen to be sitting on the fence at all, they might be looking for one or the other here to do something and get in control a little bit, so they can give a decision. Oh, that's a little bit flashy. I thought that was Ben's game. See, they on the punch profile there, where they try to register each punch, they've got Williams ahead there with 45%. But really, it's the quality of punch that matters. I've never been much of a believer in that sort of scoring. There's some of them are inside of the glove, others are not very effective. Well, it's certainly turned out a hard learning fight again for Ben, but you can hardly use the expression learning if you're in the top 10 of the world rankings. Definitely a better punch rate from Ben. That's why I think the judges will side with him at the finish, but we never know. See, Williams has done very little here, halfway through the round, past that, and he really hasn't done a lot. What he has done is stand up. That's the main thing, and I think that's caused a bit of frustration for Ben, and certainly in his corner. And a minute in this round then. We've got some more action in this round from Ben. He's certainly in good shape. And there's points for defence mean anything in American rings, which I sometimes wonder. He'll get him for that, all right. He slips well. Not all the time, as you've seen. Just marked around the eyes there, Williams. I'm not surprised. In its own way, there's been one or two rough patches. And that's the timekeeper's signal to the corner men and prepare themselves for the end of the round and the bell. Well, the old warrior seems to be satisfied with his work. And this is Andretti and the agent Ambrose Mendy in the corner there. They really pumped up Ben to try and have a go in the last round in case there's any problem. So the final round then. And you get the feeling that Williams is saying, I've done it again, I'm here to the finish. And Ben probably saying, well, it's experience that I've got to have. But I have to say, with this kind of opponent, to have to fight as hard as this, well, it's quite a step to the world middleweight challenges. Well, I think they're fence sitting so much, they're in danger of getting splinters in the backside there, aren't they, those commentary team? Well, there, those shouts of the Ben supporter there in this showroom of the Caesars Palace. And he's doing the right thing, Ben, now, really keeping the pressure up to the end just to make sure the judges are not also fence-sitting like the commentary. Well, I think age and condition are showing here because Ben's looking a lot better in the last round than Williams. Well, there it is. They're trying to put in the heavy finish. And once again, Ben pinned on those ropes, but uses them well. A little dangerous at times, but he's able to duck and dive well. And Williams doesn't really keep up the attack. That's the problem with him now. He's done quite a bit of point pinching here, Ben. And it's a good finish then as we get the countdown to the end of the fight. And a collection of the cards by three judges. And Williams saying, well, I wasn't on the deck yet again. And Ben assuming that he's won. And Caroline Williams gets a little consolation, as it were, there from Ambrose Mendy. Well, there it is, split.
94, he has it for Williams. Frank Chicago scores it, 97-93 for Ben, and Alvarado scores it, 98-92 for the winner on a split decision from London, England, Nigel.
Well, he doesn't look too pleased with that, but I think Ben deserved it, although 98-92 was a little flattering, but nonetheless, it's another win.
Well, Nigel, it's the first time you saw that. It's a bit tight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very tight, but I thought I won it by at least 3 rounds.
clearly. But I don't know what you can expect with judges nowadays.
Some reports have been quite critical of you.
Well, I'd
saying you've still got a lot to learn.
Well, I have got a lot to learn, but this guy is very tricky. He's been in with like Aaron Barkley, Michael Nunn, Frank Tate, Harold Graham. Never been on the floor, and he makes anybody look so ordinary. And he did that tonight, and it's something like, when I knock everybody out, everyone's going to say, well, when are you going to go 10 rounds? And if, what are you going to be like? I just, done 10 hard rounds, and I've done it comfortably.
Well, let's see what's happening in the future now, because your manager, Ambrose Mendy, is here. Ambrose, what is next for Nigel Benn?
Well, I'm pleased to tell you, and I'm pleased to announce on Midland Sports Special, that yesterday we had a meeting with Bob Aaron, and we reached agreement to challenge Roberto Duran for the WBC middleweight title here in London, probably at the end of April or the beginning of May. The fight will be promoted jointly by Bob Aaron's Top Rank and Barry Hearns here in England. So, we've climbed the mountain, and
no problems about Duran himself.
No problems at all. I had a meeting today with the British Boxing Board of Control.
Here he is, of course, against Aaron Barkley for the middleweight title.
And they cleared up 1 or 2 points. And what it simply is that they were anxious that Nigel was not stepping over Harold Graham, who's ranked above him. And as long as it's a voluntary defence, and as long as Roberto Duran can meet the laid-down criteria by the Boxing Board's medical officers, then there's no problems at all. The fight goes on.
Great. Ambrose Mendy, thanks very much. Nigel, you must be delighted, briefly, in a word.
Well, I'm very delighted now.
Working for the World Title Championship. I protect my title tonight, and I retain my title tonight.
2 years at the top. That's what I pray for. I pray I can get out of the game in 2 years. As a human being, I'm not capable of doing that. But anything you put your blood, sweat, and tears into, you don't just leave like that. So I only can pray to the Almighty and ask Him to give me that gift, give me the strength to be able to get out of this game in 2-3 years. Because it's very hard, and it is a mug's game. I happen to be good at it, that's why I stay in it.
And the international flavour continues as Mickey Hughes, a hard-hitting London welterweight, faces the challenge of Josip Ranic, the travelling Yugoslav, making his first visit to these shores. We're up and running with the WBC International middleweight title fight between the holder, Ugo Corti from Argentina, and Britain's Chris Eubank. Now, this is the biggest moment in Eubank's career, because victory tonight would catapult him onto the world stage, where he, at any rate, thinks he belongs. He started his pro career in Atlantic City, did Chris. Now, at the age of 23, he's back in Brighton, ranked 11th in the world by the WBC, and boasting 20 straight wins in 20 fights, 11 of those by knockout. As for Corti, well, he's a little older at 26. The Argentine champion, who fought in the Los Angeles Olympics, has lost only once in his 20 fights, and he won the international title last year. Now he defends it. Ringside for us, Jim Rosenthal and Barry McGuigan.
Thank you, Tony, and good evening from ringside. A lovely atmosphere here at the York Hall, Bethnal Green, and Chris Eubank challenges for a title that would put him bang in contention for a world title fight. If he wins this title, it means he's eligible to fight anybody in the top 10 in the world, although it doesn't give him a ranking. Now, Ugo Corti, defending champion. It's a pretty small middleweight to me. There's an official weight difference of nearly 4 pounds. Now, this is typical Chris Eubank, and there are 2 very distinct schools of thought about this. There are certain people that hate the posing, that hate the antics, and hate the showmanship, and others admire it and say behind all that there's a brilliant and a very skillful fighter. He will take a long look at Corti, and he will work out his own tactics, that's for sure, because he doesn't listen to too many people. He fights the way he wants to fight. Now, Barry McGuigan, let's get an early opinion from you about these tactics from Chris Eubank. Are you an admirer or a hater?
I dislike people being arrogant. Obviously, every fighter needs a lot of confidence, and he has got that. But it borders on arrogance, and I don't like that. Having said that, he's a very skillful fella, a very skillful fighter, and looks a better fighter of the two here at the moment. Corty looks like a blown-up welterweight, and he's a bit crude. Eubanks has got more speed too, so I would say that he certainly is in for a good challenge at this title.
Well, he's doing the walkabout. It's an individual style that he's perfected, and it's been very successful. And Corti from the same area of Argentina, San Martin area, around Santa Fe, the same area as the great Carlos Monzon. He's probably just having a long look here and wondering, what exactly have I got here trying to take my title? But like all Argentinians, and a lot of decent Argentinian middleweights around, I feel sure that Corti won't stand back. He'll want to make a decent fight of it. Coming towards the end of the first of a scheduled 12-rounder. Well, and Chris Eubank wished him the best of luck when I popped into his dressing room before the fight, and he said it's nothing to do with luck, it's all about skill. Doesn't lack in self-confidence, but he's got the record to go with it. Unbeaten in 20 fights. Made his debut in Atlantic City, where he campaigned early in his career 4.5 years ago. Meantime, Hugo Corti, bit of debate about his record. 118 lost one, drawn one is what we have, and he claims on 2 more victories. Second round, third man in the middle. In the ring there, Jan Desverts, Belgian referee.
I would say that Eubank is now going out to do the business. The first round was trying to get a psychological advantage on Corti. He'll now go out and start throwing punches.
Getting through with a couple of stiff jabs there, Eubank. He's got a lot of admiration in this country for Harold Graham, but nobody else in the middleweight division. Just say he wins this title, he's going to have a chance to mix it with the very best in the world in the not too distant future. And he says he doesn't want to hang around too long in this game, just a couple of years, and he wants out of what he calls a barbaric sport. He's an interesting character, to say the least, Barry.
Yes, indeed. It's typical of him to come out with statements like that. He is a peculiar sort of a fella, but he certainly is very talented. And he's a much bigger man than Corti, and he certainly is a better puncher of the two. You can see that right from the very start. I think that he'll probably win this in the shorter.
Well, that's half a dozen good left jabs from the challenger, Chris Eubank. Really powerful ones, too. He wasn't just leading with those. They were jolting punches, and Hugo Corti, the 26-year-old Argentinian, who came over very friendly before the fight and looked to touch gloves, and Eubank just arrogantly flicked a glove at him. Corti felt all of those. With that slight frail look about the champion, this is an encouraging start from Chris Eubank. I remember seeing him against Johnny Melf on the Jimmy McDonald Azuma Nelsonville, and this is a much brighter start from Eubank. He took an eternity to feel out Melfa before putting him away in the 4th, I think it was.
I think that Eubank certainly likes opponents to come at him. He excels when fighters come towards him. Corti is now going to be standing off and picking his punches, so he's going to find it a bit more difficult to get to him. But he seems to have a lot more speed and accuracy than Corti.
Well, it's an interesting fight so far. The punters here at Bethnal Green haven't been out of their seats yet, but they must have been impressed the way Eubank has gone about winning this title. Just a little mark perhaps appearing around the left eye of Corti. He's hardly managed to lay a glove on Eubank so far.
I looked at the referee there, and he was looking at Eubank just at the end of the fight, and thinking, what is this guy all about?
I would think Hugo Corti might just be thinking the same thing as well. Good amateur Argentine champion for a couple of years, 82 to 84, and boxed in the LA Olympics, losing to a Yugoslav in his second bout. A good win in his last fight, beating a fellow called Juan Quirvedo in the 5th in January, but doesn't really seem to be a big hitter on his record. And of course, the great Carlos Monzon, superstar of the 70s, and Argentina, really, any middleweight out of there has got to be respected. Well, the third round, a typical Eubank performance so far. Very individual sort of style. I'm not going to be able to convince you if you like it or hate it. I'm sure it'll be split right down the middle. But he has got, in the past, he does this sort of thing. He clowns and he frustrates, and people wonder what is going on up there. And then all of a sudden, Eubank has that ability to explode and finish things quickly.
You can see there that he doesn't like the fact that Corti is actually standing back. He finds it difficult to actually be the aggressor. So
I think in the last seconds out fight that you saw in Cardiff, Dennis Cronin, Barry came to him all the time, and Eubank made a fearful destruction job of him.
That's right, he looked extremely good, but of course Cronin was very aggressive and came forward, and it suited Eubank because he is much better at defense than he is at being the aggressor. It was a double left hook. First Corti.
Yes, he doubled up that left hook superbly there and landed both of them on the side of the Argentinian's face. Good punches and just about the best combination he's thrown. There's a good uppercut coming through Corti's guard as well.
You can't leave his chin hanging out like that. This is where the arrogance gets the better of him, and he can get hit with punches. We watched where Kirk and Lang hung his chin out, and he got nailed and knocked out. We can't afford to do that. Got to keep his head moving.
Fairness to Eubank, he has kept the clowning down to a bare minimum here. Gone about his business very thoroughly, and that's another
beautiful left jab.
Another great left jab, Barry. Minute to go in the third. The challenger, Chris Eubank, one of his early fighting in the States, originally from Dulwich. Now does most of his work down in Brighton with Ronnie Davis. Just comes up to Darky Smith's gymnasium in Romford for the fine-tuning. They've got him in great shape for this challenge, this WBC international title. Title available to fighters based outside the top 10. And so far this is looking like a very meaningful challenge from Chrissy Eubank.
Hit on the break there with the left hook. Referee didn't warn him either.
It's been an interesting but hardly an explosive fight so far. End of the third.
Boy, that is. A lot of water on Eubank.
Been his best punch, I think, the left that he doubled up with Chris Eubank. He's a patient sort of individual. He's not going to be panicked into mistakes. And Barry has been saying perhaps that Hugo Corti didn't quite realise the quality of the challenge he was facing when he made his first appearance here in Britain. And there is indeed just a little swelling around Corti's left thigh. This just underlines how accurate Chris Eubank, the challenger, has been. His older brother Peter, I hate to remind you, Barry, the first fellow to beat you. What was it, 81, wasn't it?
Yes, the summer of 81. I remember it very well. What a strong guy he was. Oh, just a superb uppercut there. Eubank has got him in trouble, no question about that. I think I see more damage on the left eye too.
Yep, just as we were talking about older brother Peter, Chris Eubank said, hold on fellas, I'm fighting up here tonight, and he really unloaded with a terrific combination. And it's a good fourth round from him, and it just shows what a dangerous and what a quality type of fighter Eubank is when he finds the openings and uses them. Well, I'll go on record here, Barry, I hate all that.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's looking at the ground there. It's okay doing it with a fighter of Corti's class. When he steps up to the top 10 in the world, he can't do things like that. And if he gets into the habit of making mistakes like that, he's going to get hit hard.
And there'll be no sympathy for him if he does get hit either.
This is it, you see. It makes him so very unpopular doing things like that.
I'm not too sure what your fans would have thought about it over in the King's Hall, Belfast in your early days, Barry.
They'd have booed me out of the place, I'm sure. Referee's warned him again for dropping his head down low. He's arguing with the referee. What a left jab, there's not a superb punch.
Certainly quicker to the punch, and when he's landing those punches, they're hurting too. And I must say, I'll have Eubank ahead at this stage. I think he's making a good challenge here, and the champion is starting to fray a bit at the edges.
I think the champion has tried to be the aggressor and also tried to box, and he's confused because he doesn't know which one. Neither has worked, he doesn't know what to do. That left eye is quite badly marked. Coming up to the end of the fourth round.
Well, there we are, just looking at the left eye. It's just puffing up a little below Hugo Corti's left eye. But he's still clear-eyed and taking notice of his two cornermen in there, Juan Carlos Freidero and Hernan Nicolini, his manager. But Eubank is producing moments of great quality in this fight, and that was a lovely little uppercut inside, following up with some good work with the left hand. And I've got him decisively winning the fight at this stage. Another good uppercut inside for the challenger, Chris Eubank.
We've got a problem in the corner here. Eubank's glove is actually busted and they have to change the glove. So he's doing the wise thing and sitting on a stool. Corti should be doing the same.
That's right above us that's happening, and the split glove means a delay. I don't think that's going to be particularly meaningful. Barry, what do you feel?
I don't think so, but people would argue it when Henry Cooper fought Muhammad Ali back in the 60s. He had him in grave trouble and Muhammad's glove mysteriously ripped and he got an extra couple of minutes to recover. So people would argue that maybe it's helpful to split the glove down again.
That was the famous incident then, but I can't believe that Darcy Smith or Ron Davis had only caused to have a go at Chris Eubank's glove here.
So. No, I think that Eubank is definitely he's in the better shape of the two at this stage. So there's no reason for him to split his glove.
Well, I would think about a minute's delay, minute overtime. And now we're, in fact, very close to that minute, and very soon we'll be off and running again. Round 5, I suppose, if anybody benefited from that, it was the champion, Hugo Corti, who's, the way I've been reading the fight, has been on the receiving end. Now he's tried being the aggressor, he's tried staying at long range with Corti. who won this title in November, appointing Edip Sekovic in Austria. It's his first fight in Europe, that in fact. And really what we've seen so far of Corti has confirmed our pre-fight opinion. There's a slip from Eubank right above us. That was only a slip. I think a bit of water probably around there. I was saying, Barry, it's confirmed our opinion of the Argentinian that he really isn't a damaging puncher.
No, he's certainly not a damaging puncher, and he's been outboxed here too. That's the problem. So he's in big trouble, and there's still a majority of the fight to go. I don't know how much struggling to have made the weight Eubanks would have taken out of Eubanks, because I know we had 3 attempts at making the weight before we finally made 11 stone 6. I think he's probably more of a super middleweight than the middleweight, but he certainly looks so much bigger than Corti here.
Yes, he looks a very strong middle indeed, Eubank, but of course the further he goes in this game, the tougher that problem becomes, Barry, because once you've had a problem making the weight, it never goes away, does it?
That's right. Well, he's 23 now, so he's not getting any younger, and the older you get, the old aging process, you thicken and put weight on, so it's going to become more difficult, if anything.
I think it's fair to say as well that so far Hugo Corti, the Argentinian from Carlos Monzon country, has stopped all of Eubank's best punches, and he's keen to hang on to this title. He's keen to go out of here as champion.
Down there. Do you see that? He's dropping his hands, and I wonder what that is. He actually went down there and there was no water in the corner, so I'm wondering if this actual weight making has weakened him a bit. He doesn't like the body punches.
Well, that's an interesting point. If he has had problems making a weight, of course, those problems will be magnified as the fight goes on.
Certainly Corti won't be found wanted when it comes to courage. Oh, what a right hand by Eubank. Fabulous right hand.
And a good left as well. His punching has been really accurate. Last half minute of the round, and Eubank's first to the jab again. The old Brighton Seagulls chant. Try and urge Eubank on.
Eubank has a little bump over his left eye as well, underneath his left eye as well. I see Eubank shaking his head coming back to the corner there. I wonder what that is. Is it a sign of frustration? Is he tired or what?
I think he's got just 1 or 2 problems. Had a long look at you, Barry, as though he might have wanted a bit of advice from you there. We're only about a yard away from Chris Eubank, and all is not well up there. That's for sure, because the earlier arrogance has left him. There's a little worried look in Eubank's eyes, but quite how serious this all is, we'll have to wait and see.
I went into his dressing room before the fight and said, don't expect this fella to fall. He's going to be there for the best part of the fight, so be patient.
In fact, Corti has probably had his best round. So Chris Eubank gets on his old bike again. In this country, he's highly ranked in the Who Needs Him club, Barry, because he's such an awkward opponent.
Yeah, he's very much a stylist, and he's very good. That would put him in the Who Needs Him bracket. He's certainly one of the best middleweights we have in the country.
Well, the word from Chris Eubank's corner is that everything is okay. We have to take their word for that. Eubank still firing away behind the left jab and throwing in the odd decent uppercut as well.
Oh, what a right hand there. Fabulous punch. 1, 2, 2. Corti's in trouble. He's doing the right thing. He's becoming the aggressor now. That's what he's got to do. Cut out the messing about and get stuck in and start throwing punches. He's very effective when he comes forward. That's what he's got to do.
But Chris Eubank is definitely an acquired taste. crowd here have watched in an interested rather than a fanatical fashion. But he's one of these guys who really believes that boxing is all about not getting hit. And it's a reasonable argument, Barry, too.
Well, you're as old as him. You're as old as the amount of punches you take, really. That determines how old you are. The amount of punches you take. And his attitude is hit and not be hit. And that's the right attitude to a certain extent. But you've got to be aggressive when the time is right. And now's the time to be aggressive because he's fighting for a title.
He's got a tough champion in there with him. He has really absorbed some big punches, Hugo Corti, and we thought he might be a small middleweight. Well, that he is, but he's a very tough cookie indeed.
He's taken some tremendous right hands and left hooks, and he's still there. And I'm wondering at this stage, is Eubank's beginning to feel the weight making? He certainly doesn't look as comfortable as he did early on, and he'll have to start pulling it out of the bag. What a left hook! In fact, that it was the right hand that done the damage, not the left hook.
It's a mandatory 8 count, and box on, and Eubank comes piling in, aiming to get this title.
Oh,
and he's getting through well here, and it's a desperate moment for the champion. And can Eubank pull it round here, or is he going to run out of time? Last 15 seconds, and all of a sudden he's exploding through on the Argentinian.
He's in trouble.
Is he going to last the round? The Belgian referee's looking very closely at it. The gum shield's out. The crowd are being ignited here by a brilliant flurry from Chris Eubank, and there's a smile on his face at last. And just as we were wondering, when we were wondering about his strength and was he losing a bit of desire, he went steaming through the champion Hugo Corti with a devastating flurry, and it looked as though someone literally pulled the rug from under the champion's feet. His legs went up in the air as though he went over an invisible tripwire almost. This was a fantastic flurry.
This is the right hand here. That's the one that said that the left hook actually missed him, it grazed him. The right hand done the damage.
See it again here, Barry, I would think.
Yeah, this is the end. This is coming to the end of the round now. He's pulling it all out to try and finish it before the end of the fight. I thought he might run out of time, but he's really made his mark now.
Eubank piles in for the title. What a flurry from the challenger. He's got the champion going in the very first seconds of this 7th round, and he's surely not going to let him off now. He's disintegrating in front of our eyes, the Argentinian champion. The referee, the Belgian referee, Desbert, is looking very closely at this, and we tell what a tough champion Hugo Corti is, and he's going to have to show all his resilience and all his country's great fighting powers to stay in the frame here. Some brilliant work from the challenger Eubank.
Fabulous punches there at the start of the round, right out there, no messing, just stuck in. Eubank is now blowing a bit from his efforts at the beginning of the round. He needs to keep on top now. He'll only get one chance like this. He needs to stay right on top of him.
Well, he's taken a step back here, and after all that outstanding...
He's ripped his glove again. Eubank has ripped his left glove.
I've got it. The left glove's ripped again. Well, that's very strange, and I must admit, I find this...
It's going to give Corti a chance to recover again, so
well,
he's got to land with his best punches at this stage.
Well, that's twice that his glove has been damaged. I don't think the referee's as sharp-eyed as you, Barry, because he's letting things go on here. But the last time it didn't seem to make too much difference. But this time, if there's another delay, well, the champion will gulp in the air and say, well, thank you very much indeed. But I must say, apart from the glove, I find Eubank's tactics strange here.
Yeah, he's shown. I think he's shown a signs of weight that the weight making has actually weakened him because he's tired here. He's blown his chance at this stage, and if they give him another minute to replace the glove, Corti is going to be completely recovered.
Well, he hung on to his title by a thread, Corti. Seemed that Eubank was going to blow him away, and then he survived the flurry at the start of this round. Eubank's glove is damaged, and I feel sure if the referee doesn't see it during the round that the corner will bring his attention to it in the break. And all of a sudden, Hugo Corti He's getting his head down, he's clearing the buzzing sound that must be in there after that assault. And he's saying, well, can I get back in
he's
it?
in trouble again. Come on, Eubank, now do the stuff this time.
The gum shield's gone again. There's a cut appeared around the left eye of the champion as well.
Referee stopped the fight to look at the cut. Eubank is putting his hand up, go to the neutral corner.
Got to get away from the champion there. It's just taking a look at the cut over the left eye, and I think Corty felt that was caused by a clash of heads. What drama in this fight for the WBC International title. Everything going the challenger Chris Eubank's way at the moment. The doctors have a look at the cut. They might be claiming it was a button. They might also be claiming, of course, it was the damaged glove. I feel sure there'll be complaints from the Argentinian corner. And the referee has finally stopped the clock, I would think, because of the complaints of the Argentinians, and there's going to be another lengthy delay here.
All sorts of confusion at this stage. I think that obviously Eubanks put his hands up before the referee had said the fight was going to end. He's now changing his gloves. He's sitting down on his stool. This is crazy.
Well, it's crazy, and it'll be controversial as well, because I feel sure that the champion's corner, if the verdict goes against him, will complain about that. They'll complain about the fight being allowed to go on while the glove was damaged. And really, is that lack of professionalism in Eubank's corner, or is it just one of those things, Barry?
Just one of those things. It's the gloves they were using. The gloves fit. It's nobody's fault. But Eubanks is tired at this stage. Corty is shaking. He's got rid of the cobwebs, and now he's got a second chance.
Has Corty got a problem with his glove now? Is his left glove gone as well? They're having a little look at his glove, and I think they're going to change his glove too. Well,
the referee doesn't know what to do here.
Well, this is very strange to say the least. Now, Corty says he wants to change his.
Just talking about this a round and a half back, and isn't it amazing that Corty has had a chance to recover?
I suppose we might ask how the damage occurred to his glove. Barry?
Yeah, well, Angelo Dundee's not there anyway, so he can't be accused of it.
Well, we can't really joke about this too much, because I feel sure that Eubank had established such a advantage in this contest, but there's only one guy who might gain from all this, and that is the champion Hugo Corty.
I don't think that Corty has shaken the cobwebs as yet. He's taken a lot of punishment, so he's still vulnerable at this stage. Eubanks, on the other hand, is just tired and frustrated.
We've had a delay of what must be close to 5 minutes now, one way and another. Well, Barry, you say you always see something new in sport, you always see something new in boxing. Ever seen anything like this?
Not in my lifetime, anyway. I've never witnessed anything like this.
You never know, they might put their hands up and start fighting in a minute. And we're off and away again, and I feel sure there's going to be a bell to end this in what we've worked out. That's a fair job in itself, in about 20 seconds. And it's sad after, well, a little bit sharper than 20 seconds. And now the pattern of this fight really has been disrupted. The rhythm has gone out of it, and it's a tough job for both fighters as they come out to the eighth, and a tough job for both corners, really, to get their men back in shape, get their minds on it, and say...
Darky Smith rubbing Eubank's legs. I think he probably is starting to get cramp at this stage from the efforts of trying to make the weight. They're working frantically on his thighs at the moment. Maybe that's where this...
Well, yes, if that's another warning sign from a corner that's told us everything is okay, well, that sort of thing, unless it's Darky Smith's normal way of geeing Chris Eubank up, that sort of thing is worrying. But really, my feeling is he's got to get him in the right frame of mind again, and got to get his mind back on the job after all those disruptions. So is Eubank feeling the pace? He's
what
got
a
a
right
big
hand
right hand in there again. And now he's got a lot of time, if he's got the strength, to win the title here. Big right hand again, and Corsi absorbs it.
Oh, what another...
Stopped another one, and that was a wild one, though.
Oh, but it was right on the money. Everyone counts at this stage, Jim.
But Cordy had cleared his head. It's buzzing again, and he nearly got him with a third right. Just pulled his nose back out of the way, the Argentinian champion. And the cut is opened again around the left eye. When he had him going, a couple of rounds, and the referee's having a look at that left eye once again, the Belgian referee, and he wants the doctor's view on it. Eubank is already celebrating here.
At the end of the fight.
He's already celebrating, is he, Eubank? And
the referee has stopped it.
He stopped it. He stopped it. The Argentinian is unhappy. Chris Eubank has won that WBC international title a minute into the 8th of an absorbing and a dramatic fight ultimately, and a fight that threw a lot of talking points indeed. But as Chris Eubank thanks everybody here, and one suspects a few powers above, what this means is now Chris Eubank can challenge any middleweight in the world for the title.
The referee has stopped the contest with a verdict highlighting the 40. Ladies and gentlemen, the new WBC International Middleweight Champion is Chris Eubank.
So, Chris Eubank, the WBC International Middleweight Champion, Gary Stretch, the champion at light middleweight, both beat Argentinians. Chris Eubank undoubtedly had the tougher task. Question marks remain about his style. Not an easy night for him, and all that controversy about his gloves as well. But he showed us that when he turns it on and when he concentrates, Chris Eubank has what it takes.
Yes, when he cuts out the messing and concentrates on the punching, he can do this stuff.
What do you make of that then, Chris? Not quite the way you might have planned it.
I hit him with shots, right? What would any other man would have been in intensive care. I hit him with good shots. You hear the people, they want Nigel Benn. I want Nigel Benn. I've been wanting him too long. Let's do it. Let's get it on. That was a bad performance. It gets a lot better. It was good to the spectators, to the perfectionists like me, like I am. It wasn't as good.
Let me just put this to you. His corner are saying that you fought dirty, your glove was torn, and that's what caused the cut, which wasn't really much anyway.
It's not canvas and it's leather, but it's very thin. It could never have caused the cut. To be totally honest, I threw a wild shot, and I went for it because it was bleeding slightly, and it opened it. And it was a bad shot because I hit him with the side of the glove. But you do what you can to win. It's a nasty business, as I told the press already. It's a nasty business.
Barbaric were your words.
Barbaric is right. I mean, look. Is that right? Do you agree with that?
Well, it's not for me to say. I think we're more interested in your opinion. If it's barbaric, what are you doing here?
I happen to be good at this sport, and I'm looking for a way to earn a living. I have a family to look after. I have a beautiful boy. He's looking for a modelling job. He's 4 months. Give him some work. He's the best looking boy you've seen.
Don't send him in the ring then.
I'm too smart for that. I would advise that everyone stay away from the ring. This is dirty business. I'm in pain now. I can handle it. That's what I've been taught to do over the years. A reporter asked me how long have I been training for the fight. 7 years. That's my answer.
Let's just think about the WBC title now, which is vacant.
Yes.
Is that where you move to next?
I'm not in this game to mess around. As I said, my performance could have been a lot better. May not have looked it. My punching accuracy was not on form tonight for some reason.
Well, you seem to be in a couple of different gears.
Yeah. I think I warmed up in the fifth. I mean, I'm supposed to be fighting for all four from day one, round one. I'm WBC International Champion. I am WBC International Champion. That's what I am.
Yeah, floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee, and talks a high...
He's got a weight advantage as well. 11-3 the Canadian, 11-7 Eubank. So coming up to the end of the opening round then. And there's the rundown on Eubank. I say 14 on the turn. You know, you've got to meet some hard nuts along the way, and it will take a bit of winning. As I say, he won some fights as a learner, really, in the fight game in America. Born in Dulwich, actually, billed out of Brighton. So first time I seen this fella, and he really did come close to getting split then when Eubank struck the dance and threw punches. So there you are, he's almost balancing the win and lose scale there. Second round. And really, a Canadian barely landed a punch in the opening round. In fact, the referee's pointed finger at Eubank was causing more damage, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, he doesn't really have any sharpness about him. Not in the first round. Maybe he just wanted to look at Eubank, and maybe some of the things Eubank was doing was confusing him a little bit. But he's showing a little bit more life here in the second round. You always feel Eubank is going to be a little bit too dangerous for him.
He's a quality fighter, Eubank, when he stops the song and dance bit and gets back in. That's it. Won't go this round now. Minute's gone in the second. And he'll keep this up now, and Jacobs will fly in there any second. There it is. It's all over, and it had to be. Good game guy, managed to stay on his feet, but well outpassed there.
Heavy and all that, but this is some sort of form line anyway, what to expect. There we go, Ronaldo dos Santos, 29 years of age, from Brazil. And 14 fights, won 11 of them, lost 3, and of the 11 wins, 8 by the short. When we talk of Brazilian fighters, I think of a former great Brazilian world champion, Ada Joffre. Then again, shows me age if I mention that. And Chris Eubank, having his last outing before the Nigel Benn showdown at the NEC in Birmingham. Dave, when we watched Chris Eubank with Jim McDonald in partnership with me, Jim McDonald has got a big soft spot for Chris Eubank. What do you make of it? Well, I mean, I've only met this fellow a couple of times. He seems a very nice fellow, very articulate sort of gentleman. I mean, I would never want to stick a winner between Eubank and Benn. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, he is an incredible fighter. What do you make of his fighting style? Well, I mean, if I fought him, I think it'd be very frustrating, you know. So you'll have to catch him, wouldn't you? You never know what he's going to do next. I wonder whether sometimes even he knows what he's going to do next. I've never known a man cocoon himself in such an ironclad web of concentration. And as we will see in a minute, he'll get onto the ring apron. He will vault over the top rope, and he will sort of wander around the ring as almost in a trance. Perfect record, 23 fights, 23 wins, 13 inside the distance. First 5 of those fights, incidentally, were in America. Now up we go, and up we go.
Let's get the
Ladies and
announcement from Alan
gentlemen,
Hughes.
the next contest, sponsored by Storm Steel and promoted by Matchroom, is an international middleweight contest with a match made at 11 stone 10 pounds over 10 3-minute rounds. Introducing and presenting in the red corner with the blue and maroon shorts from Brazil, Ronaldo dos Santos. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner with the white shorts, unbeaten in 23 contests from Brighton, Chris Eubank.
Well, we've seen it all.
And at today's weigh-in, Dos Santos scaled 11 stone 5 pounds, Chris Eubank 11 stone 9 pounds. Your referee for this contest is Roy Francis and your timekeeper, Tom Powell.
Roy Francis doing the honours. And Eubank stalks out into the middle of the ring, glares at Dos Santos, almost as if to say, what gives you the right to get in the ring with me? And we will see when the bell rings. Eubank almost glides out of the ring, struts out of his corner. Count is 7. He's not going to make it. He hasn't. Oh, that's amazing. The first punch that Chris Eubank threw, and Dos Santos does not know whether it is Brazil or Birmingham.
Well, to promote a Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank fight, I mean, what a promotion that is. One big shot, the first shot he threw, and he knocked him sparking.
And he's still groggy. And Eubank hasn't broken sweat, has he? Ronnie Davis, the trainer, poses with him. That was the hand that did it, boys. That's the picture you'll be seeing on your Sunday papers tomorrow. Well, we've seen a lot of Eubank on pro box, but never as dramatic as that.
Of round 1.
20 seconds.
By the countdown, Chris Eubank is the winner.
20 seconds, you just think 10 seconds, that was the count.
That's right. That's right. That's a good point.
Ladies and gentlemen, your appreciation, please, for the loser.
Well, we're going to get a word with Chris. And here comes Chris. George Bellamy is with him. So let's find out now what Chris Eubank thought of that 20-second destruction of his opponent.
Chris, that was a tremendous right-hand punch. Were you intending to do that right from the beginning?
No, on the spur of the moment, I decided to throw one, and I'd like you to know, Nigel, that I can punch as hard as you. Only I am more controlled. My strength, my velocity in punching is much more controlled than you are. This is why I shall take you out on the night of the 18th of November. You are mine, you belong to me. I am the man.
Of course, we're talking about Nigel Benn there. Could you give me a prophecy on that fight, please?
I can't predict. I'm not clairvoyant. I am the man, and I will continue to be the man for as long as I am undefeated. I am the man.
We look forward to that fight. Thank you very much indeed, Chris Eubank.
Chris Eubank, I am the man. And, well, that would have given Nigel Benn something to think about. A stunning punch. We'll take another look at that knockout when we come back after another short break. We'll have Jim McDonald in action as well. And as I say, we'll take another look at that cracking knockdown. Don't get too far away. We'll be right back with you.
boxing fans, Barry Hearn's Matchroom Club bring you exclusively the best of Matchroom Boxing, a unique 2-volume video collection of great boxing moments from the 89-90 season, available only through the TV store on 081 569 8900. Each video has 80 minutes of non-stop big fight action, 34 fights, 10 knockouts and many more knockdowns, from local scraps to settling world title belts. From the comfort of your own home, see the big ones. Jim McDonald v. Azuma Nelson. Mike McCallum v. Michael Watson. Watch Mark Reefer. And Chris Eubank. And look out for the up-and-comers. Mickey Hughes. Carl Crook. Hugh Ford. And Errol McDonald. Each video only $14.95 or $24.95 for the two. Call 081 569 8900.
His WBO middleweight crown, but it's pride that's really at stake on November the 18th in Birmingham. Eubank will start underdog, but not in his own mind. His ego is virtually indestructible.
I have 4, 5, 6 ways of fighting. I can play chess, I can go back, I can come forwards, I can dance, I can box, I can slug. You name it, I can do it. I would say I challenge all contenders, competitors.
Benn's not exactly a shrinking violet either. He spent most of the day just before the Michael Watson showdown at the barber's. Like Samson, Nigel found the haircut wasn't a lot of help.
Oh, he's gone. So, the big hitter has been hit in the 6th round, and the way he backed off from that punch in the eye, it looked as though he wasn't sure he'd been counted out on his feet there.
But the Dark Destroyer steered away from his own wreckage towards America, and a collision with Doug DeWitt for the recently created, and according to some, barely significant WBO title. After taking a count, Benn won convincingly. If he could do the same against Iran Barkley, who'd rubbed out Hitman Hearns, that would silence the doubters for good.
What a round. It's done him again. Remember now, the 3 knockdown rule of WBO is in effect if he goes down once more in this round. No, he stopped it already.
But Chris Eubank wasn't at all impressed, as he was quick to let the Benn camp know.
You know I can take your boy. You're petrified, and I know you are. Your boy's mine. It's done.
Eubank's defensive skills have never been an issue. What the critics said was okay, but can he hit? On Saturday, he gave us the answer.
Well, Eubanks is always able to back up his both, and you can't knock an unbeaten record. Oh, I was going to say, I don't know what he's like, Dos Santos, and I don't think we're going to find out. His legs have stiffened up from that, and he's certainly not going to make the count. That was some punch on the side of the head and the ear, and he's pleased with his night's work, you can imagine. And we can have another look at it now, and I'm sure Dos Santos would like to have another look at it coming his way. It's a good knockdown. I've no idea how good the Brazilian champion was, but, well, 20 seconds is not an all-time record, but it's close enough.
This is why I shall take you out on the night of the 18th of November. You are mine, you belong to me. I am the man.
Nigel Benn is talking to you.
To face me. The thing about him, he's all hype. He's all hype, you know, and I can't wait to November the 18th to give him a good hiding. You know, went out there, he's done the job on a guy. Who was it? Another Sanchez, Gomez, Lopez, who was it? Another road sweeper? Hey, I've done that before. Now I'm with the big boys. I'm there already. He's got to prove himself, not me.
Will you prove yourself, Chris?
On that particular night in question, I will show that I have what it takes. This man is nothing but, he's the real hype. I come up the hard way. I didn't have time for
myself, boy.
You had your time. Let's have some parliamentary procedure here, right?
Oh, God.
I didn't come up the easy way. I came up hard. I didn't have Frank Warren. I didn't have Ambrose Mendy. You know, I came to Barry when I was 14-0.
But what makes you think you can beat Nigel Benn?
Because he's just a puncher. He's only got a puncher's chance. I'm a skillster. I'm a fighter. I can punch as hard as he can. I can box. I can slug or whatever he can. He only can. Everything is loaded in my favor for this fight because, in my opinion, although he's a great puncher, he has nothing else other than that.
Do you go along with that, Ambrose?
That's why.
Not at all. Not at all. Nigel Benn came up the hard way. You know, we're going to find out on a night who's fooling who. In my opinion, Chris Eubank tries to talk as if he came out of some silver spoon society. He's a kid off the street the same as us, and we're going to find out on the night just who's fooling who. In regards to Chris saying that boxing is a mugs game, we've got something to show you. It's a piece of our own artwork. Perhaps you'd like to hone in on that. It's a mugs game. And I'd say this, a Shakespearean quote for you young men to learn. How much sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. That's from all the professional boxers in this country.
Barry Hearn, why is this man the boxer they all love to hate?
Well, I don't think they do. I think that's an image that's been afforded to them by some of the journalists in Fleet Street. It takes a bit of time to appreciate Chris Eubank. But, having said that, I'm not detracting from either fighter, but we have a situation where Nigel Benn fought Michael Watson. Nigel Benn was the undefeated fighter that went in. Chris Eubank now is the undefeated fighter. He's there on merit. He is the man until he's been beaten. And it's going to be a very highly competitive fight between two great athletes. At one point, I must just say, Ronaldo Santos is not a Gomez or a Sanchez or a Pedro or anything. That man had never been knocked out before. In fact, in his professional career of some 20 fights, had never visited the canvas.
Chris, how important is it to you to lay Nigel Benn on the canvas?
That's not important. I just got to beat the man. It doesn't matter whether I knock him out or take him to 12 rounds and give him a boxing lesson.
But why is it so important to beat this particular man?
This is the business. This is the business. And I will do what is required on the night. And not only that, if he doesn't extend me, which I'm sure he will, not sure I'm doing anything more than I have to do.
Why won't you face him? Why won't you face him tonight?
I'll face the man in the ring. I can face him. I'm speaking to you. You're asking me questions.
Anytime.
You're asking me questions. I'm being polite when I'm facing you. I'm looking in your face. I have nothing to say to Nigel. I find the man intolerable in that he's so wild. I have no time for such people. He has no class as far as I see it. About Nigel Benn, I would say this. The man is a powerful puncher. A very powerful puncher. For this, I would like his autograph, because after I've finished with him, he isn't going to be anybody.
Nigel Benn, will you be anybody at the end of the fight?
Hey, after, see, the thing about it, I've seen both sides of the coin. Like I was saying before, when Watson kicked my butt, hey, I got up, brought myself down. When he fought Quinones, Jorge Amparo, Doug DeWitt, Iron Bartley.
It seems that this one is working you up more than any other fight.
Yeah, more than anyone else. I think the public is demanding this. I walk down the street, people say, hey, give this boy a hiding. Well, and I am determined to go out there firing on all cylinders.
Well, let's make sure the fight takes place by signing a contract right now.
Christopher?
I have to say, there seems an element of genuine hate between these two, Ambrose.
For sure.
I don't hate the man. I just want a WBO title. I pray that I have enough dignity not to hate the man. Hate doesn't come into it for me. Hate destroys again and makes it look brutal, and that's why a lot of people don't take to it. I don't hate the man. I want the man's title, and I intend to prove that I'm a better fighter than the man, which I am.
All right, gentlemen, you both
I personally do hate him. I personally do hate him.
So is there any point in me asking you to shake hands after signing the contract?
No.
Well, gentlemen, all four of you, thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
See a clip of the video in just a moment, but first we can meet the man who's bet £1,000 on himself at 40 to 1 to finish it in the first round. With his slogan, I'm quite simply the best, you could never call Chris Eubank a shrinking violet.
You know I can take your boy. You're petrified, and I know you are. Your boy's mine. It's done.
Your boy, of course, being the Dark Destroyer, Nigel Benn, who Eubank refused to look at when the fight was clinched. Away from the ring, there's another life with Karen and Chris Jr. down in Brighton. But for now, there's one moment he can't wait for.
When the referee said to me and Nigel, fight, stop, that's one letter just coming in the chest. Beforehand, it's something I can anticipate. And after the fight, it's something I've done, so what, big deal. So anytime I'm going to really be able to appreciate is action time, and that's going to be special.
Benn's two world title victories have definitely been special, getting off the floor to beat Doug DeWitt in Atlantic City last April, and defeating Iron Barkley 4 months later in Las Vegas. But Eubank's not afraid of that kind of firepower.
So if you hit me, you've got to hit me skillfully. You're not going to hit me luckily. No luck at this level in pugilism. There's no luck. will come down to the skill that you possess. If you're skillful enough to come to me in front of me, get in range and place the right hand, then good. And I will appreciate it if you can do that. But that's very, very difficult to hit a skilled fighter like I am. You know, there's no luck at this level. And on that night, I will expose him for what he is. And he's a man who has not learned the craft. He's got a punch of counting, that's all he has.
Are you saying that you're a thinking man's boxer and he isn't, in a way?
Well, it's evident. What does he do? He comes out bombing all the time. And the way the man speaks, he has nothing of any significance to say. He only speaks about knocking a person out and hates and detesting people. What mentality does he have? In a righteous and upright way, I deserve to win this fight. Not to say that it comes down to that, because it doesn't. It comes down to the skill of the fighter. But in a righteous way, I am supposed to win this fight, because he is not portraying anything for anyone to follow. He says he hates me and he detests me. Why? I've stated in the press I did not disrespect his mother, his father, his sister, his children, or his wife. So why do you hate me?
Well, presumably it's because he thinks you're arrogant and that you've implied that he's a no-hoper and you're going to sort him out.
Well, I didn't imply that he was a no-hoper. That would be backwards for the simple reason that he's already there. He's making the money, and the business aspect of it is what he's got covered already. I'm talking about the craft and for what he's portraying to young kids out there. You understand? I mean, people say to me, what would you say to a young child? You know, would you like to be a role model? I say simply this, right? I'm not going to encourage no child out there to become a fighter. That's something I wouldn't do, because this game is too hard.
Because you've got a young lad of your own, haven't you?
Sure. But let me just go on to say, I would say to any young man out there, go to school and endeavour to stay there, because that's what makes a man.
You think it's a mug's game, don't you?
Yes, I do. It is a mug's game for the simple reason that many a fighter in this world are being exploited by managers and promoters. Now, that is a fact. A man tried to buy my contract for a plate of fish and chips. You know, he said to me, he took me to a restaurant, he said to me, the fact that, he said, you should, when you come to me, it was as if he was saying to me, you should think yourself privileged that you're speaking to such a man of my caliber in this game, for the people I know and for the achievements that I've achieved and for the fighters I've made world champion. That means nothing to me. You understand? I'm doing something quite extraordinary.
Besides obviously being a good boxer, he talks a very good fight, doesn't he?
He's very good, yeah. He's very intelligent. He knows exactly what he wants to say. He knows what he wants to tell everyone. And he's very good at expressing himself, getting over his views.
Now, who was this with? Armani?
Ah, Mr. Armani.
Yeah.
Because what part do your family play in your approach to boxing?
I mean, the part they play is simply the part where every family plays, you know. They must be looked after. They must be looked after. And I want to do that as the easiest way I possibly can, which is to make a great deal of money. You know, all these titles to me means money. I respect the title for the glory, but I respect it more for the man.
Does Karen talk boxing to you a lot?
No. She has nothing to do with trainers can't even talk to me about boxing. I know what I know. What they knew has been buried already, because it's a science and it's always moving. So what they have to teach me, I don't listen to. I'm way past that, you know.
Aren't you going to put people's backs up with that sort of attitude?
Yes. Yeah. The truth, 40%. It's not a lie, and I'm speaking that truth, and this is what I believe to be true. You know, and you know, maybe you should speak to my trainer, Ronnie Davis, because he understands that he ain't got nothing to teach me. I mean, I've got moves people haven't even seen, and I know that. I just need for someone to bring that out in me. I need for someone to extend me. So please do that, Nigel. Extend me. I need to be extended.
And do you reckon that this Sunday is his biggest test so far?
It's his biggest test, and it's his biggest win.
I'm confident.
Very, yeah.
Finally, let's have a message from you to Nigel Benn.
A message. I'll say this to you. I shan't say anything because this is coming out on the 14th. and the fight is on the 18th. So if I say anything to you, I may educate you. I'm not doing anything. When Jimmy on the night was between me, the fact that I haven't looked at you once in all the press conferences we have had, the fact that I haven't spoken to you, I haven't even considered you. Maybe you think that's a flaw in my confidence. It's not. On the night I should look at you. And I'm going to be caning you while I'm looking at you. Then you're going to know why I'm looking at you. That's my message. Simple as that. You are mine.
Well, you can see the fight live here on ITV this Sunday night at 10:30.
I just don't like him as a person. I think he's a horrible person indeed. He's an arrogant B. And, you know, for someone like, you know, slagging off boxers, we don't need him in the game.
The Benn supporters are there in their thousands, and they're against me, then I should feel that, and that should be directed strictly to you, Mr. Benn. How do you feel?
Hi, I'm Tony Blackburn.